Good evening. Oh, shit. What a way to start a stream. As I said, good evening. I opened my can of kombucha. Now, that might not be a problem for most people, but those that were just on the live, on the members only live, will recall the moment when I dropped that same can of kombucha on the floor. However, I might have just forgotten it. And unfortunately, as I said hello. Yeah. So this cloth is now going in the wash pile. So I will fall to a live. Don't you love live streaming? Yes, there's nothing like live, is there? Hello, everybody. Welcome to the stream. I know, right? How good is that? I say hello, and within the first couple of seconds, I say the F word. I know, right? Sorry, everyone. Luckily, that 2 minutes intro would have started. So I'm past that 2 minutes for the YouTube telling me off. So anyway, hopefully that has made some sense. Good lordy lord. Right. So this is our new tarot cloth. moon and the tree of life and the sun, lots of lovely energy. So that wasn't supposed to be on just yet, but anyway, yeah, there you go. So let me set this up. What I was going to say anyway is good evening, everybody. Welcome to Beyond Authentic. This is the place where we do tarot readings and other witchy stuff. There are going to be some more videos coming your way very soon, hopefully. I know I've said that for the last couple of weeks, but I've actually filmed them now. I've got some filmed, so that is good. So they are coming your way shortly. Let me just tuck this under the computer so that everything is nice and neat. The same with the speakers. There we go. So then that should now be roughly in position. I did say fudge. Yes, Judy, I did say fudge. I know, right? So if anybody's wondering why I have that 2 minute long intro video sort of set up, the reason for it is that YouTube normally sends out the notifications to subscribers, but it can take up to 2 minutes. And what we were finding is I would do the whole good evening, everyone. Welcome to the channel. We're going to do some tarot reading, bloody, 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 blah. I would do all of that. And then people would come on the stream and go, hello, hello. What did you say about this? Who are you? Can I get a reading? And it's like, so you've missed the entirety of the beginning. So that's why we've got that recording now. So it helps that then as soon as I come on the live stream, when I don't normally, open up an explosive can of kombucha everywhere, that I can start with people here, if that makes sense. So yes. Good evening to, let's have a look at who is in the chat. I've already highlighted a few people. Amy, thank you very much. Mr. Lynn 67, thank you very much for being here, my darling. Thank you, Ed, for popping out and telling people I was running late on the members live stream. Basically, before we go live here, I've got a membership which is on that little advert that I just played, and we do a live stream over there. And one of the members today requested a reading, so we do a private reading on there, and that can take, today was about 15 minutes, but that can take half an hour. It could take the whole stream. We've had streams before where it's just been one major reading, and we've gone into it in a lot of detail. And it varies. So yes, that's what we do over there. So that's why I was running late. Good evening to Sharon Ann Lopez. Good evening, Sharon. Good evening, Holland from Blue Chalice. Holland is one of our moderators. So is Ed, one of our moderators. So is Neil, one of our moderators. And Patricia's one of our moderators. You can tell them because they've got their name in blue in the YouTube chat, and they've got a little spanner next to their name. So they are our amazing mod squad. They are the ones that let me do the readings with Wispy the Dragon. They're the ones that allow all of this to happen. So that is fantastic. So without them, none of this would happen. I can just see we've had a super chat come in, so I will get to that very shortly. Viana, good evening to you, my darling. Welcome. I don't know whether you are a new subscriber, but welcome very much. Good evening to Judy. Good evening to Wolf Boyo. Hi guys, sorry, been really busy again. Uni have changed your course from a single to a double degree due to the high grades you're getting. So now you're studying a degree in history and classical studies. Be very careful, my darling. That is a hell of a lot of work. That is a hell of a lot of work. But yeah, hopefully Hopefully that will go well for you. Rosa, good evening to you. I can see that you're the one that sent a super chat, so I will get onto that very soon. There's Patricia, look, in our chat. So good evening to Patricia. Who else have we got here? There's Necker and Neil. Good evening. I'm going to do the housekeeping in just a second, Neil. I'm actually going to make a little video for it all on. I am. So then, yes, good evening to everybody. I've said hello to everybody in the chat currently. Don't forget, if you are here and I've not said hello to you, it's because you haven't commented. So comment on the live and I will say hello. Also, I've got to say a massive, huge thank you to everybody who watches this on the replay. Much love to all of you. Much love to the replay crew. Much love to you indeed. Right then, so as Neil's pointed out, there are some housekeeping elements on the channel. Now, Neil says there, look, anything shared on the internet is here forever. This is very true, right? If you have ever done a nakedy nudie photo and you sent it to your other half and you sent it via, I don't know, email, that might be seen. What will definitely be seen are the comments on YouTube videos. So just watch out what you put on the comment section, okay? Keep yourself safe. Don't send anybody your email address. People the other day, and I got some private messages on the Instagram because I did this. Look, I did. Oh, I haven't got it on here anymore. I put my email out there, like this one for the podcast, right? So I put lisa@beyondauthentic.co.uk, which is my work email, and I put that out there, and everybody was messaging. Well, not everybody, but I had some messages from people saying, "Oh, don't do that, you'll get doxxed." It's like, no. It's all good. That's my work email address. It's on the website. It's everywhere. Links through. That's how you can contact me. That is fine. But anything else you put on the internet is going to be there for life. We could delete this. We could cancel the YouTube channel entirely. YouTube could even go bust. And the comments would still be there. The Wayback Machine happens. There are always people in the background, especially on things like Reddit, where they will dig into someone. Go and have a look at everything. So just be careful of what you're putting out there, basically. You also do need to be 18 or plus, 18 or over to get a tarot reading on this channel. And tarot is for entertainment purposes only. You do make all your own decisions about your own life, and tarot should never be used to replace medical, legal, financial, or counseling advice. If you're looking for support in those areas, do please seek out advice from a professional in those areas. Here's a whole ticker tape running at the bottom of the screen, just so you know exactly what we're talking about. It's really important that you stay safe on the internet, not just here, but everywhere, okay? Everywhere on the internet. It's even MySpace. I've even seen people get into trouble for what they put on MySpace back in 1904. I don't know how long that was that MySpace went bust. Back in, in the early doodah years. So yes, yes, I agree. I agree, mods. Oh, Seti's here. Hello, my darling. I hope you are good. No, that is your business address. That's your business address. Different. You were 18 years ago. Oh God, now you make me feel old. Now you're making me feel old. I was, what did I say what was it this week? Oh, is it Back to the Future that's turning 40? I don't think it is. Was it something like that? Computer, when did the first Back to the Future film come out?
The film Back to the Future was released on the 4th of December 1985.
Yeah, next year. It's 40 years old next year. Back to the Future is 40 years old. I'm not 21, my darling. I am 39. I am perennially 39. In fact, I did a TikTok thing, one of these things where it shows you your age in it goes, does your face thing, and then it puts up here your age. I did that and it said I was 41. I was disgusted. I mean, I am 47, but I was disgusted because they should all know that I'm 39. I'm perennially 39. Anyway, enough prattle. I've changed my cloth now, so we've got a nice new. I know, right? I did it while I was talking, multitasking. And my coffee kombucha has stopped exploding everywhere, so I'm going to have some of that. And yeah, it is time. So then let's have a look at what we do on this channel. How do you get a tarot reading on this channel? Well, first of all, before you decide to get a tarot reading, I know that Rosa has already sent a super chat, but before you do that, I need to make you aware of something. Now, how we open the channel might be a bit of a clue, right? That occasionally I do use adult language, but just in case you think this is like your grandma's spiritualist tarot, there's this.
YouTube tarot reader Lisa Lee has been found using bad language during her twice-weekly live streams. In a shocking turn of events, it has also been discovered that she will not tell you what you want to hear, only what you need to know. The internet is in collective shock that authenticity is alive and well in this corner of the YouTube meta space. Do not watch if you are easily offended.
There we go, you see. Good evening. Yes, so I am occasionally known to use normal language, adult language. Wolf Boyo, your best time was 2 years ago when you got home and Balti, who's 2 years old, on Tuesday. Ah, good evening to Balto. We love Balto. Let's have a look. Holland, that's odd. We've become the same age. I know. Do you know what's worse, Holland? Next year, you'll be a year older than me. I know. It's amazing. Perennially 39. God, now I'm doing it. Right. So then, Rosa, you're a big girl. Right. So how do you get a reading on this channel? Well, you can do what Rosa's done. And you can send a super chat. Now, she sent a $4.99 super chat. Thank you very much for that. And you want a reading on yourself and Faisal. We can certainly do that. That is no problem at all. I will do that next. So you can do that. You can send a super chat. What is a super chat? Well, basically, down in the comment section, just where you type, there's a little dollar bill sign. Little note sign. If you click that, it means that you can send it as a super chat, which is basically donating some money. Now, what happens to that is that YouTube takes its cut, which is about 30%, and the rest of it comes through. And then when that comes through to me, that helps me support the cost of running the channel, the streaming software, all of that. But what we also do on this channel is 10% of all money raised goes to one bladder cancer charity called Fight Bladder Cancer UK, and the other one goes to Action Bladder Cancer, or maybe it's Action Bladder Cancer UK. Either way, there's two bladder cancer charities, and 10% of each goes to each of those two charities, and the rest is used to put back into the channel. So yes, thank you ever so much for those of you that do super chat. The other thing for you getting a reading is that actually what happens is you get a longer tarot reading as well. So instead of it being a 3-card reading, you get yourself a 6 or 7 card reading, and it gets a little bit longer, goes into a bit more detail. So that is what we do. Bear with me then. Just knocking over my bell. Bear with me, everybody else. I'm going to read for Rosa. Don't forget, you can send a super chat at any time. I have a message that's just one press of a button. Don't even need to type. That's just gone out into the chat. Once I've done all the super chats, if you would like a free round, I will open up a free round. And in that, if we get 10 messages come in for readings, I will pick one of those 10 at random. If only 2 come in, I will toss a talisman. I know, right? It sounds rude, but it's like tossing a coin. I will do that. And then that will determine who gets the reading. Okay, so right then, let's get the first cab off the rank with Rosa. So good evening to you, Rosa, my darling. I am going to change cameras. So hopefully, look at the new, oh, it's a little bit wibbly now. It's a little bit off-centered, isn't it? Let me just, there we go. So this is the new tarot cloth that I've just put down because, you know, obviously, you all saw and heard me spill the kombucha everywhere. So there we go. Let me just make sure that is even. I don't like it when things aren't, you know, right? For somebody as messy as I am with my messy ADHD brain, I really do like things centered on the streams. I know, right? It's really, really odd. Right. So if I do that, does it need to go up a little bit more? Probably. There we go. There we go. Is that right? Is that in the middle, everyone? Can you tell me if that looks all right on your screen? It should do. I kind of want to bring it a little bit lower, though. Hang on. There we go. I know, right? Oh, look, it's a Sunday and Lisa is messing about with the camera. It wouldn't be a Sunday if I wasn't doing that, would it? Right then, let's have a look, Rosa. Oh, gosh. You sent another super chat, my darling, a detail reading. I tell you what, I will do you a full 10 card reading. How about that, my darling? We'll do a 10 card reading. Thank you so much for that. You really didn't need to do that, but I will do my best for you, my darling. Right then, so everybody bear with us. This is probably going to take about 15-20 minutes, and we will get into it with Rosa and for Rosa. So you want a detailed reading about yourself and Faisal. Okay, we will do that for you, my darling. You don't need to send any more super chats. Thank you very much. That is very kind, and we will get into that for you. So as ever, before we do the readings, we cleanse the space that we do between every single tarot reading, so that the space we use is cleansed. And then we bring in Wispy. Wispy is the air elemental dragon that I work with. Right, just in case you aren't aware, once I start a tarot reading, I am off of the comment screen. So I can't see anybody's comments until after I finish the reading, unless I tell you that I'm coming back onto that comment screen, just so you know. So the deck we're using today, the main deck is the Vice Versa deck, which is an interesting tarot deck because it actually has images on both sides, as you can see, and it tells a lot of detail. So this is obviously a good one for you, Rosa. And I do also read, although there's two sides, I do also read reversals for both sides as well. So we'll get into that as we go. If there's anything that I need clarifying, I've got the Radiant Rider-Waite Smith deck here as well. So we'll go through that to clarify. Okie dokie. So then, Wispy, Rosa would like to get a reading about Rosa and Faisal. Okay, so that's what we want, a reading about Rosa and Faisal, a relationship reading. We're going to do a full 10 card reading and we'll see exactly how things look. So then, for those of you that have never seen me do a 10 card reading before, this is going to be an interesting one. As we go into a little bit more detail, and these are the readings that are available on fiverr.com and via my website, which I, you know, if I was good at this, there we go. I can put that on the screen at the bottom. So then let's have a look. So Rosa, oh gosh, Wispy. No chucking the cards, please. Unless we're doing a modifying card. So here we go. Oh, literally, how often does this happen? My regular subscribers and viewers will know. As soon as I say, unless you're throwing a clarifying card, we get a clarifying card. It's the Queen of Cups upright. So what is a clarifying card? Well, a clarifying card is basically what it says on the tin. It is a card that clarifies the rest of the reading. Now, how this works is it's almost like a lens that we view the whole reading through. Okay, so it's the Queen of Cups. Now, the Queen of Cups is a very powerful card, and basically what she is the nurturing, loving queen of the deck, right? She is all about spreading that love, spreading positivity, lovely, you know, friendship vibes, but also full-on romance, full-on hearts, love, flowers. She's all about that. Okay, so we're going to put that card just there, and let me have a look. So once a card jumps, we get our modifying card. Then at that point we stop shuffling and we do the card drop. So we know it's not going to be the 9 of Pentacles in yours because that's on top. So there we go. And for a 10 card reading, how I normally do it is I'll do you the horseshoe reading, and then we've got the 4 extra cards that come up. Okay, that's how we normally do that. So in the past, oh, I've just seen what the card is. We've got the Empress. Now, again, this is all about you and Faisal. The Empress card is my favorite card of the deck. Eventually, she's going to be a tattoo. In the present, we've got the Knight of Swords. The influence of others, we've got the Page of Wands. Interesting. The obstacle or challenge card is the Three of Cups. Interesting that we've got a challenge. We've got the Three of Cups coming up in the challenge. So this is a romance or an emotional connection here going on. Just move that slightly out the way. The influence of others, another cup. Sorry, not the influence. How other people see it is the Ten of Cups again. The advice card is the Ace of Wands. Interesting. And the outcome for these is the Ten of Wands reversed. Right. And then, unfortunately, you're going to see these because, you know, the nature of the deck and everything. We've got 4 warning or advice cards. So I'm going to put those there. And what I'm going to do, so they're not fully visible, is I'm just going to use one of these from the other deck just to cover them, because these will come out as we go. Okay, so then the Empress. Now, the Empress in a standard deck, I mean, this is very similar to the Empress in the standard deck, but the Empress is all about loving, abundant energy. Okay, she is that loving, warm, family, nurturing energy in the deck. Okay, so she is all about there being growth, and that can be represented as financial growth and abundance, or it can be talking about love and, you know, that strong connection, that strong family connection. She's all about family. You can see on this side, it's just, although it's a daytime shot, it's a lot less detailed. This is the one that is a lot more active, if that makes sense, because we've got her on the throne. Now, we do have the stars, but don't worry about the stars. It's normally the stars are part of her crown, and they're talking about how wonderful she is and all of these things, and it can be seen as the constellations and all of this. But the Empress for you and Faisal is talking about in the past, this is either your energy that is talking about being that, wanting that family, that nurturing side of things, wanting to have that almost picture perfect sort of Disney type family where everything is really, really loving and supportive and nurturing, and everybody is on, you know, all batting for the same team. Or you've got that came out wrong, where everybody is singing from the same hymn sheet. Let me put it that way. Or this could be what you and Faisal together want, because your reading is about the two of you. In the present position, we've got the Knight of Swords. Now, this tells me that there is a wrinkle that's come into this relationship recently, because swords is all about trouble and strife. Okay, swords is basically your suit of challenges, obstructions, obstacles, hurdles, all of those things that are sent to try us. Now, again, this way round, that trouble is leaving. This way, the trouble is coming towards us. You can see we've got dark clouds, but there is always that silver lining. Okay, so it does mean there is still hope. But I do think with the Knight energy, Knights for me are that sort of rebellious energy. Okay, they are the energy of that sort of teenage vibe of not caring about the repercussions of their actions. And even if you said to them, if you do this, this will happen, they will do it anyway, because they don't generally care about the repercussions or don't believe that they will get caught, right? So in terms of a romantic reading, it could be, if the Knights are representing male energy, which is traditionally what they're seen as. However, for me, Knights are just representing that rebellious energy. If this is coming from Faisal, where it's almost like they don't want to settle down yet, they don't want to, you know, make commitments and things, and they're starting to not necessarily be singing that same song from that same hymn sheet, then this is what this is all about. In the influence, we've got the Page of Wands. Now, Wands for me is about your sense of security, sense of self, your sense of self-esteem, confidence, all of those things. And basically what this is telling me is that there's this sort of element coming in of childlike behavior, innocent behavior. But again, it's almost like if this is that teenage rebellion, this is that early tween, it's that energy of discovery. Okay, now this is in the influence, so I'm not saying that this is either one of you that is actively kind of doing this, but it feels very much like this is influencing the way the relationship is headed. It's that feeling of kind of learning to trust yourself, learning to trust each other, learning to, you know, have confidence in yourselves and your both of your abilities. It's that vibe, it's that energy, if that makes sense. Now, again, as we're looking through this Queen of Cups, it does feel like there is a little bit of disturbance in the force, if you like, right? So we've got one of you embracing that Empress energy. Now, if that is you, Rosa, that's fantastic. But then it feels like Faisal is bringing up that sort of, maybe I'm not quite ready. Maybe I'm still a little bit, you know, uncertain about how I view the future. Because this page energy is kind of the two of you together, and that influence is where it's still that, it's almost like, right, I'm not saying this is the case, but it's almost like sometimes when you're in a relationship with someone, one person's got a lot more experience than the other about not just, you know, the bedroom stuff, but also a lot more experience about being in a relationship and how that changes you, and you're no longer just a single person, you're now a couple, and what that embraces. And this is what this feels like. Okay, so it feels like you're slightly at different, sorry, my bracelets keep attaching the microphone, but it feels like you're at slightly different places in terms of experience or in terms of knowledge about how to be in a relationship. Now, when we come to the obstacle or the challenge, we've got that Three of Cups. Now, this is talking largely about, for me, threes are moving forward into that family energy, right? Into that bringing in the pet, the long-term plans, the new employees. If it was a discs pentagram, pentacles card, God, Jesus, my words. But this is interesting. From this card that's all about family, this card is about maybe starting a family, wanting to start that process, and it's in the obstacle position. So I don't know whether, again, with this Knight of Swords coming in, I don't know whether there's a little bit of an obstacle about maybe wanting to settle down and have children, maybe wanting to start that process, or if, you know, just that question being raised is making somebody a little bit anxious. Not sure, but it's very much interesting that it's coming through this filter of the Queen of Cups, which is all about loving, emotional relationships and positive emotional relationships in that nurturing aspect, same as the Empress. Now, the way that other people see the two of you, they see it that you are almost, there's I don't want to say an obsessive element, but almost like one of you is far more heavily into this than the other. The reason I'm saying that is because we've got this, if it was this way round, right? Again, for me, 9 is when something is full, the 10 is when it's overflowing. So this is overflowing with positive love. We've got rainbows, we've got bushes, we've got the sand and the water, and everything's lovely and wonderful. This way round, that couple is absent. We have got the Fountain of Aphrodite, which is talking about there being that love, that passion element, but maybe not the entire, both of you being in the same, singing from the same hymn sheet. Does that make sense? So it's almost like one of you is far more into this long-term planning, you know, thinking immediately about the kids and the family and the weddings and all of that. And maybe the other one isn't, and this is why it's coming up in the how people see you. So one of you feels a little bit more not necessarily obsessive, but a lot more committed to this than the other. The Ace of Wands is coming up in the advice position. Now, this is an interesting card because the aces are talking about new projects, new beginnings, new ventures, but the Wands is about confidence. So if there is something here where maybe one of you is less confident about being in the relationship than the other, then this will be talking about starting that process of letting go of single life and getting to know coupledom, if that makes sense. It's really talking about trying to move forward into that sort of vibe where it is literally about, you know, about moving forward together and learning together. However, the outcome card is the 10 of Wands reversed. So again, like I said here, an abundance, an overflow of emotional energy. This is talking about an overflow of confidence from one of you, but this is reversed. Now for me, when the tens, when the ones are involved in the 10, that confidence becomes almost arrogance, and it's talking about the darker side, if that makes sense, because you've got this kind of statue. You've got somebody, are they bringing the wood to help build for the future? Are they taking the wood away from that project? This is somebody who is doing their own thing, okay, and really, really, really sure about kind of moving forward. Does that make sense? They are sure about going in their direction, to the extent that it's almost they're doing it without what the other one feels. Now, I get the impression just by the names and just by the way that gender stereotypes are kind of playing out with the cards, it feels very much, Rosa, like you are embracing the Queen of Cups, the Empress energy, wanting that family, wanting, you know, to move forward in the relationship in that longer term, and that maybe Faisal is not quite as committed. Now, let's look at what the 4 warning or advice cards were. Now, okay, we've got the 9 of Swords. So this is about sleepless nights. This is about worry. So one of you, it probably is you, Rosa, to be honest, is having sleepless nights. There's a lot of worry, a lot of issues going on within the relationship right now, and it's causing this sleeplessness. It's causing almost nightmares and sort of really heartfelt sadness almost about the way things are. The Hierophant. Now that's an interesting card, because the Hierophant often talks about it being a guru, or in this case, you can see it's like almost like the Pope. And this card has that papal element to it. You can see here with the I'm not sure what the hat is called, but the crowny hat thing, the symbol, holding up the hand. We've got the 2 supplicants here going to the Hierophant for knowledge. So I don't know whether this is saying maybe to ask somebody in the community, maybe speak to somebody that knows you and Faisal, and maybe kind of even couples counseling to maybe look at what this hold up is, because it does feel like there is a glitch here in this matrix of the 2 of you, and maybe taking some advice from a counselor or even a church leader that might help kind of move things along. Either way, you'll get an answer. Either that will be the pair of you on the same page again, or it will be that actually Faisal doesn't want to be with you. Either way, you'll get that answer from taking this advice. We've then got the Tower coming in. Now, oh my darling, the Tower is not normally seen as a positive card, I have to say, because what the Tower represents, and this is the more standard image, what the Tower represents is something that is based on, it's like the tower's been built on rocky rocky foundations, sand foundations. It's never meant to last. But this way round, look, you can see this way round, that's the standard image that we've seen, with the added eye of destiny, eye of the universe, eye of God, eye of whatever. This way round, this is talking about the mask. So somebody is aware that these 2 feelings aren't matched. Somebody is aware and has been basically not, I don't want to say living a lie, but trying to, because of the reversal, trying to ignore the fact that they're aware of this different level of connection. And it's almost like wanting to carry on for the sake of carrying on, even though that gut instinct of this might not be going the way for family, wedding, children, blah, blah, blah. You know, we're probably not going to have grandkids together. It's like that knowledge is there, but one of you doesn't want to admit that. And I've got a feeling, Rosa, that might be you. However, we've also got the King of Swords coming in. Okay, so again, like I said, where was it? Like I said here with the Knight of Swords, the King of Swords is the king of hurdles. So this would be saying that maybe Faisal really fundamentally isn't ready for this relationship, and maybe Faisal is in this position of not actually wanting to move forward in that way, to the point that it's almost like regardless of what is happening, he's absolutely not ready, and not, it's going to dig his heels in. And there's that stubbornness from the king, that authority figure from the king is absolutely saying that despite the amount of love that you're showing, despite the emotions, you know, we've got that warning element here of being too emotional, despite all of that, the king might not feel that same way. He might not have that same level of commitment. Now, the one thing I would say here, if we look at the Hierophant and pick the Hierophant out, and this isn't cherry picking because this is kind of telling you what's going on, but the Hierophant feels like it is a good move to speak to somebody in a guru position, in as a mediator between the two of you. Again, maybe some couples counseling, because that ties really strongly into the advice card of the Ace of Wands. Start to build confidence in either yourself or within the relationship. Build that confidence together, and then either way, if this becomes that long-term committed Three of Cups, Empress, Queen of Cups relationship where everything is perfect and you're well, it's not perfect, but everything is, you know, meshing together well, and you're ready to start and set up that family unit long term, then that's positive if that comes out of it. But even if that doesn't happen, at least then you'll have that clear knowledge that actually this isn't what is meant to be for you both, and that new confidence will come in, and it won't feel like such a disaster. Does that make sense? Hopefully, my darling, that makes some sense. But that is going to be your reading for today, and I really hope that helps. And I also realized that I did 4 advice cards rather than 3. I normally do 3 because it's a 7-card reading, so you've actually ended up with a 12-card reading with the doodah coming up as well. What's it called? My brain's gone. The clarifying card. So yes, hopefully that makes sense, my darling. Let me know in the comments. Again, I'm really sorry that I'm not able to give you the, you know, everything's going to be wonderful, hearts and flowers all around, kiss, 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 kiss type vibe. But all that I can actually say is that all I can do is give you the guidance that you need and the answers that the cards are giving. And today, that is where the cards are. I hope that helps, my darling. I really do hope that helps. I feel that maybe getting that second person's advice, maybe getting that elder or that counselor's advice between the two of you and working it out, maybe as a third party person, and working out where it is that you are together, at least you'll have some knowledge. And yeah, I really, Rosa, I really hope that helps. And please let us know down in the comment section if that does. And again, thank you ever so much for both of your donations. That was very kind of you. Right then, so we are going to move on. I've got another doodah in. Sorry, doodah is my word for things that my brain forgets. Clear thinking. I've got a reading in for you, a donation for you, a super chat in for you. No problem, my darling. No problem. Don't forget, you can always go back and rewatch this in a few days' time. This will always be up live afterwards on the channel for at least a year. I tend to only sort of take them off after a year, so you'll always be able to come back in, rewatch it if you want any further sort of, you know, if you want to go over things again. So yeah, and I really hope that helps, my darling. But thank you for the confirmation. Right, let's have a look. Doodah is the word of the day. Hey, doodah is always my word of the day. I am like Betty Boo, just doing the doodah, doing the do. Betty Boo, just doing the doodah. Yes, Scooby Dooby Doodah. Yes, all of that, all of the above. You do the do that you do so well. Doodah, all of that. Right, let's have a look. So, clear thinking. I am going to play a 15. Where's my drink gone now? There it is. I'm going to play a 15-second little interlude so that I can drink my drink, and hopefully that doesn't trigger anybody with misophonia. So give me 1 second. You'll be coming up straight after this. be a super strong connection here. Right. Oh my God! Yes, indeed. I'll put my can there. There we go. So once again, Clear Thinking has sent a super chat. So I'm not saying once again as in Clear Thinking sends them every day, but you know, Clear Thinking has sent a super chat the same as Rosa did. And so whenever we do get a super chat, we go for a longer reading. So this will be a 6 or 7 card reading as is standard. Here we go. Let's have a look. So then, as always, I've shuffled those a wee bit. We cleanse the space. So if you don't know why I do that, I cleanse the space between readings every single time using the vibrations from the bow, and that just makes all of this energy, clears it all out, gives us a new, fresh, clean, lovely reading space. I then bring in Wispy, who is the air elemental, the air dragon that I work with. If you don't know who Wispy is, have a look in the description box just down below. Just before there's a section cut off, you'll see there's a link to a podcast. That podcast has me and Neil from Necronomicon. It has us discussing what Wispy is and my dragons, egregores, servitors, tulpas, all of that gets discussed in that their podcast. So do check that out. Right then, Wispy. There we go. Wispy, Clear Thinking would like to know what is next for the Capricorn man and them. So what is next for Capricorn man and Clear Thinking? We'll have a look at the deck for you. Don't forget, as I said earlier, this is the vice versa deck. Let's see, that's 2 cards drop. That is not a clarifier. You know this, Wispy. If you want a clarifying card to go on the little stand, you have to send 1 card only. We don't do multiples. 1 clarifying card. But yeah, this is the vice versa deck from, I believe it's Lo Scarabeo. I like it because, as you can see, all of the cards are that doesn't make any sense, does it? But the cards are double-sided, so it gives you extra meaning. It does make it harder for the tarot readers because obviously we haven't just got 78 cards to read. We've got 156. Oh, I did that maths in my head. That was good, wasn't it? 156 cards and reversals for all of those. So potentially there are at least 312 different interpretations for each card, and then you times that by the number of cards in the spread. It gets a lot. It gets a lot. So yes, anyway, let's have a look. Clear Thinking. So then Wispy, we haven't jumped out a card, so we don't have a clarifying. I'm covering this up. I'm not even looking, so I don't see what the cards are. And yeah, so then here we go. We are going for a romance type question. I think we're going to go with that same where you are, what you need to know, and what the opportunity is as an inverted triangle. So here we go. Where you are. Oh, King of Cups. Okay. What you need to know. Thank you, Neil, for that lovely message. What the opportunity is. Oh, the moon. So we got a full major arcana card here with a lovely full moon. And then the connective tissue between the cards, between the King of Cups and the Two of Swords, we have the 5 of Pentacles. That's interesting. Between the Two of Swords and the moon, we've got the King of Wands. 2 kings in your reading. And then as the base card, the root of everything, the 10 of Wands. That's the second time that's come up tonight. So then let's have a wee look. So let's have a look. Ed, series 2 hasn't come up on Spotify yet. That will come up soon. Right, let me pull that back up. Thank you very much. I had to change screens because my screen froze. Hopefully that didn't freeze at your end, but there we go. Right, so in the where you are, we've got the King of Cups. Now this is, this is the standard king on his throne with the water. Lovely, lovely, lovely. But that's nighttime. This is daytime, and we see the back of the throne. Now, what does this mean? It doesn't mean that the king has got his back to you. It doesn't mean that you've been kind of ostracized from the king. But it does mean that maybe the king, that could be again, I don't know your gender clear thinking, but maybe Capricorn man, because that's the one you're asking about, maybe Capricorn man is invested, but maybe not entirely, how can I put it, maybe not entirely vocal, and maybe not entirely present, if that makes sense. Because some people are like that, right? They can be fully into something, but they don't ever seem into it, if that makes sense, right? So they can be committed and emotionally ready and all of that lovely stuff, but that's all under the surface. And actually on the surface, they just seem a little bit blank, or a little bit cold, a little bit aloof. Does that make sense? Whereas actually it feels like the King of Cups is a very, very loving person once they admit and let you into that connection. Does that make sense? So I get the impression this could be about a partnership, a romantic partnership. The reason I'm saying could be is because what you need to know now, we've got the Two of Swords. So the Two of Swords, for me, swords is all about negativity. It's about trouble and strife, hurdles, obstacles, challenges, all of that. Now, the issue with that is that it comes up as a 2. And in this case, it's the darker, the more hidden side of the card. This way round, it's very obvious there are disagreements. One person is blindfolded, so there's a lot going on, tumultuous waters, lightning, all of this. This way round, the water is deceptively calm. And you can't see that this person is blindfolded. They just seem to be holding these swords. They can't see from this angle that they're crossed. And we've got the full moon energy here. This doesn't look as bad as that, does it? Right? You can see this looks really like, oh my God, everything's storm, everything's nasty, cross arms, cross swords, cross words. This looks a lot calmer. But what this means is, a lot like this with the back turned, is that this is actually below the surface. This has been pushed way down. So it feels like there is something here between you and Capricorn man, where it's like the argument has been just pushed it right down. You know, Marge Simpson has a thing with talks to Lisa in The Simpsons, where she's like, take those emotions and push them right down, push them down hard until they just form a solid knot, and then you never let that out. And that's kind of what this is saying between the King of Cups reversed, or the King of Cups, you know, back to us, and the Two of Swords back to us. It feels like there has been cross swords. It feels like somebody's taken umbrage, somebody's offended, but things aren't, like, nobody's talking about it. Do you know what I mean? That's what it feels like. And then when we get to the opportunity or the future, we've got the moon. Now, this is actually quite a decent card. And it's actually very similar to the sort of standard card. Now, this video isn't quite the standard, but this looks a lot more like the Rider-Waite-Smith version that we see, with the two animals howling at the moon. In this case, we've got, I think it's a lobster on a rock. I think it is. It might be a crab. Could be a crab. Don't know. But we've got the two towers. They've got the full moon. We've got the mask of the moon. This way round, it's a whole different feeling. So we've got this coming up as that standard kind of lunar energy. Now, this is talking about looking inward and connecting to that spiritual element, trusting that spiritual element, trusting your instinct, that instinctive moment. So if you do not think that this is going to go forward, trust that feeling. If you think that this argument has kind of ended things, trust that feeling, unfortunately. But when we go a level deeper, we go connecting the King of Cups to the Two of Swords. We have the Five of Pentacles. Now, this is often revealed when somebody has been left out of a situation, is left outside alone. I'm not singing Anastasia, but we've got the church window here, lots of bright lights inside, money, warmth, heating, and yet this beggar person is out here begging for money, even though they've got a walking stick and they're obviously, you know, disabled, poorly, whatever. And it's that feeling of one person has turned their back. and that is this connection from the king to the two of swords. It feels like somebody is not being charitable, is not being kind. Somebody is laying down, you know, stamping down a foot. Yes, this is sometimes career, work, finances. So if there's a money issue that's cropped up, it could be pointing to that. But this card is more about being uncharitable than anything else. And then we've got the King of Wands coming in, linking the Two of Swords to the future moon, to this intuition. And this King of Wands is somebody who is very, very, very sure of themselves, very confident, very sure that they're in the right. If it's the same king energy here, then the Capricorn man knows that he's right. He knows that he is the king. He knows that whatever this decision was, he is very comfortable making it. Even if he's completely bloody wrong, he will stick to his guns, because that is what kings do. Once they make the decision, they don't go back on it, because leaders need to have that ability. And the root of it all is the Ten of Wands. So this is the arrogant card, okay, especially when it's reversed, especially when you've got this aspect of the card coming up. So you've got somebody doing it by themselves, doing it on their own, taking these wands, these logs, doing their own thing with it, not necessarily giving a damn about where they're going or where they're from. You've got this statue here, is almost like frozen. It's like the better side is frozen in stillness, can't act. And then this way round, look, it's like they're taking this to go to the village and building and lots of good stuff, or a bit more good stuff. This way round, it feels very, very like somebody's arrogance, somebody's opinion of themselves is stepping in, especially when we've got the King of Wands here. Okay, so the root of this person's problem, the root of this issue is about somebody's arrogance. Now, when we take that out of the equation, we've got a pattern. So we go from the King of Cups with his back to us, so this feeling of turning the back, not wanting to be involved, decidingly being a bit aloof, not being charitable, but coming off as quite arrogant. So this is Capricorn man, I think we're reflecting. And then as we move forward, we've got that King of Wands being very comfortable with the decision, comfortable maybe being outside of that friendship connection or love connection, moving towards this moon. Now, sometimes the full moon can be a romantic element, but invariably the full moon is talking about intuition and maybe even a 28-day timescale, a month or so. But it doesn't feel here that there is a love connection worth pursuing. It doesn't feel here that this, whatever Capricorn man has done or said, it doesn't feel like he's ever going to change his mind. It doesn't feel like, even if he's in the wrong, which this would suggest, it doesn't feel like he's ever going to admit that and take a step back. So yeah, again, look at me with the bad news. It doesn't feel like this is a strong positive connection moving forward, my darling, and I'm sorry to say that, but hopefully that makes sense. So then, thanks ever so much, and I will have a little look. Because this king just feels like this is something. How can I phrase it? Checked out? Does that make sense? Like all of the emotion in the world, but not giving it, not showing it, not dealing with it. Does that make sense? Like not. Yeah, not going with it. Not going with it. Yeah. I think there's something about this king. Hang on a second. I was just about to finish and Wispy's going, what is it, Wispy? Right, hang on. Wispy, give it to me from my perspective. Is this some right? Okay, thank you, Wispy. Is this I'm gonna have to come into the live chat. Hang on. Is this somebody who is, I don't want to say emotionally stunted, but emotionally stunted, like not in touch with their, not their feminine side, but not in touch with their emotional side. There's something going on with this. I'll tell you what, go on, Wispy. We're going to pull a couple of cards because this doesn't, the summing up on this, is somebody married? Is somebody in a relationship? Is this a work thing? What is going on with these two kings are throwing me off. These two kings are throwing me off. Right, Wispy, what is going on with these two kings? Because this King of Cups, I don't like the vibe I'm getting from it, right? So we want the King of Cups explained. We're using the Rider-Waite Smith. Let's explain the King of Cups. Because this doesn't fit. Come on. King of Cups. Let's see. King of Cups. What are you giving me with the King of Cups? 3 cards, sorry. 1. Oh, Ace of Swords. Oh, okay. A new start, something new, a new issue. There's issues involved. There's like hurdles and sticking points. Not recognize. All right, okay. He doesn't recognize. He's not recognizing. And the Knight of Pentacles. Right. Do you work with Capricorn man? Because there's something here where he's not recognizing his own emotions, or he's not acting on his own emotions, which is why this is reversed. It's like he's got them, but he can't show you them. And that's what's causing this too. And it's like the Ace of Swords. Thank you, Wispy. The Ace of, hang on, I've got to play his music when I say thank you. The Ace of Swords is that not wanting, because it's reversed, not wanting to start something because it's going to unravel everything else. It's like if you start or not start a relationship, but if you go public, I don't know if that makes sense. If you go public with the relationship, if he openly admits it, it's going to unravel things. It feels like there's either a work issue or a wife issue with this card, right? So yeah, there's an existing relationship or a very recent ex that's like stabbed him in the heart or something, or a work relationship, something where it's inappropriate somehow, right? So we go from that to the 5, which is that feeling of being outside, feeling of being left outside in the cold. We go to the arrogant card, and not being able to show anything, having to keep up that front, that cold, slightly cold, frosty front where he's got his back to you, so you're not able to see the emotions. Going to the King of Wands, because it's saying, this would be saying that, how can I put it? This King of Wands is basically saying that he's so comfortable and solid where he is that he doesn't want to unravel that. This does not, like, it's too, he has it too good where he is, so he doesn't want to change that because it will unravel things. And there's something here that he'll lose work, or lose money, or lose everything, lose growth. So he doesn't want this moving forward. It's too important to him. And this moon is talking about either this time scale of 28 days or this intuitive feeling of he's never going to make that step. Does any of that make sense? Right, I need to come into the chat because that King of Cups is bothering me a lot, and I don't know why it's bothering me. Hang on, what's that? Knight of Pentacles is not a good card. You get nothing from that knight. No, exactly. I agree, Patricia. Hang on. I'm in the live chat now. Let me swap cameras over. I'm gonna have to put my glasses on because I can't read the live chat. Oh God, they're mucky. Always mucky when you don't need them to be mucky. Oh, you are a mucky kid. Face looks like a dustbin lid. What? Something like that. Oh, 11 likes. Can we have a like spike? Can everybody hit the like spike, please? Thank you very much. Right, clear thinking. Now you're not sure what this is about, honestly, right? Patricia says she thinks you're wasting your time with him. Patricia's a very good tarot reader as well. He's been aloof. That's the queen. And you've sort of separated yourself, but we have a friendship. We've never been romantically involved. He's got emotions, but he can't show you them. He can't show you them. You're pushing, but thank you for the feedback. I wouldn't push. He's not married, that you know for sure, but a recent ex. Yeah, it's left him screwed. And he can't let that guard down to let you in, because we've got that arrogance. Now, this arrogant, when it's reversed, if it's in that situation with an ex, then basically he's been shown up, he's been proved wrong, and he doesn't like that. That is what is a bugbear, especially because he's normally quite sure of himself. So this is like Captain Picard in Star Trek Next Generation once got, right, go with me on this, right? He got telepathically linked to somebody else, basically, right? Without going into the storyline, they were telepathically linked, and they had to deserted on a desert planet, and they had to work together. And because they had the telepathic link, they could feel each other's thoughts and sense each other's emotions and all of that stuff. And so Picard once says, we need to go this way. And the person he's linked to says, you don't know. You're just guessing. Have you always done that? And he says, it's a leader's job. It's a leader's job to make a decision and go with it, and not to show weakness. And this King of Cups, it's like whatever emotions he has going on, he cannot show you them. His emotional side is shut off, whether that's for his own protection because he's still going through shit, or whether, as I say, it's some unprofessional like work thing. He cannot show you that. In the last reading, he said he had a lot of feelings, but was worried to show him. Yeah, that is literally what I'm saying. He cannot show you those emotions. He cannot do that. Because it's that thing of the minute he opens that door, everything else starts unraveling. Everything else kind of goes down there. So he's got those emotions. He just can't let them out, because once that's admitted, everything changes. Do you know what I mean? It's like certain words you can't take back. You know, like if you tell somebody, say for example, you tell somebody you're gay, right? You can never take that back. You might say, I was only kidding, it was only a phase, but that person then knows that you are not heterosexual anymore, whether you're bisexual, pansexual, you know, whatever. That person knows that you are no longer entirely straight. Even if you never act on it, you've got different feelings and thoughts. But once you say that, the cat's out the bag, the shit is out the horse. You can't put it back in again. And it's that thing of, he may have all of the emotions, like passionate emotions, but he's not able to reveal it. And that Two of Swords is because her back is turned. Again, it's not just a blindfold. Like that Two of Swords, that will be why there is going to be a pushback on the relationship, a pushback on the connection. It just isn't, like, it can't go forward at the moment, because the minute he says something, or the minute he acts on how he feels, it all changes. But yeah, what I would say, clear thinking, is just listen, my darling, give him time, give him space. If he ever wants to act on the emotions that are there, that will come in time, but it won't be yet, because like that moon, it's going to be at least 28 days with that moon, right? At least 28 days, because we're talking about a full moon, a full lunar cycle. So it's going to be at least a month of him not able to do anything or act on it. If there's any other reason, if there is a work connection, is that if there is because again, sometimes in a work placement, you can't get into a relationship with a colleague, certainly not if he's in an authority position, certainly not if there is, you know, any kind of hierarchical element, because that would become an HR violation. So there's so many things that could be going on with this without sitting down with you you know, for an hour to discuss it all, it'll be very, very difficult to guess more acutely what's going on. But he can't show you that. And it may be that, yeah, because he can't. And it's like he wants your company, but he can't cross that line at the moment. And it may be that once he's divorced, he's able to do that. But right now, he can't, if that makes sense. Right? Hopefully, my darling, hopefully that makes sense. But again, thank you ever so much for your question, and thank you ever so much for your donation. Just give it time, right? Be there as a friend. Listen, even if he, I don't know, you both get drunk and he makes a drunken pass at you, just sort of say, are you sure you want this? Like, what is going to happen? All of that, do you know what I mean? And even if he says, look, should we just hang out together? Then just hang out together and just almost treat him like a girlfriend. You know what I mean? Treat him just like a mate that you've known for ages. Treat him like, you know, a sibling. Just be a friend, be there, have an interesting chat. And if things, you know, don't progress that day, then fine. It may be 3 months down the line where he's able to say something. It's going to be at least a month before you get any idea of what's happening with him because of that full moon. And even then, it's not like in a month's time he's going to declare his undying love for you. It could just be that in a month's time his head is starting to clear, but you need to completely back off. And because the minute you push him, that Two of Swords is going to come up even more, right? Anyway. Hope that helps, my darling. I really do. Thank you for your question. Judy, I've just seen your chat come up. Thank you, my darling. Let's have a look for Judy. Right. What is your question? What should be my main focus at this time, please? Been extra busy lately balancing different aspects of your life. No worries. I know the feeling, right? I know the feeling. Oh, finding that perfect work-life balance. Gosh, if anybody knows how to do it, please message me. Please send me a link to your seminars or whatever it is, if it's a free seminar on how to get work-life balance, because my God, do I need it as well. Right then, again, I'm going to play, I've got a coffee here, I'm going to play a quick little video segment while I take a slurp of coffee and change all the cameras around. And this time I'm going to shout out to two amazing moderators who are just wonderful human beings. In fact, all of mine, listen, right, I keep shouting out these two, right, Neil and Holland, because they have got Etsy shops. But don't forget about the amazing Ed and the wonderful Patricia, because they are both fucking amazing, right? All of my mods on this channel are friends. They're all personal. They're like my family, right? They are like my extended family. And so even though I shout out Neil and Holland because of their Etsy shops, I sometimes feel really bad that I'm not going, and I want to shout out Patricia and Ed, because they are also bloody lovely human beings of the loveliest kind of loveliness, right? And so even though I shout out the two that have Etsy shops, the minute Ed or Patricia ever open Etsy shops, they will be getting bucket loads of shout outs as well. So whenever I hit this button, right, just also say yay to the other two mods. And yeah, so that's all I'm saying, right? All of my mods are wonderful human beings. Otherwise, they wouldn't be mods. And I class them all as amazing friends. So thank you to Ed and Patricia. And of course, thank you to Holland and Neil as well. And this little video celebrates two of their Etsy shops. I'll be back after this, Judy, in 40 seconds. And then I'll do your reading.
Are you a fan of 80s horror but want something different? Do you like modern horror but the regular magazines leave you a bit cold? Are you a fan of that schlocky horror that no one else seems to talk about? Check out Necronomicon, the UK horror zine from Etsy.com. Just search for Necro Neil.
Blue Chalice is a small business making crafty creations for the Witcher community. From jewellery to wall hangings, witch bells to altar tiles. Why not have a look at bluechalice.etsy.com. Yes. Oh gosh. Yes, indeed, everybody. Blue Chalice and Necronomicon, both amazing people. All of my mods are amazing. I can't even tell you how wonderful they are. If they all just feel like family. I am extremely blessed to know them, put it that way. Especially considering my own family largely, apart from the nibbling, my own family are largely, either dead or absent in some other way, mainly because most of them are dead, but either way. Right, move my coffee to there. Right then, so Wispy, good evening. We're going to do our lovely normal doodah. Hang on, why am I on that screen? That doesn't do me anything at all, does it? Right, let's have a look. Oh, Bryn MRC, good evening to you, my darling. Your reading will be straight up after Judy's. So here we go. Cleansing the space and bringing in the Wispy. So Wispy, my darling, I know we're having a wonderful evening tonight, Wispy. I'm loving the reading so far. What should be Judy's main focus, Wispy? They've been extra busy lately, balancing different aspects of life. Oh, so Wispy, what should Judy's main focus be? What should Judy be focusing on, acting on, working towards, all of those things? What should Judy be doing right now and focusing on, looking for, and all of the above? What should be the thing that comes out as top priority? Let's have a look. Or should there be a top priority? Because not necessarily, Wispy, And yeah, I have taken my bracelets off because look what they did to my wrist. Look at that. Really annoying. Anyway, sorry, ADHD brain is braining. Here we go. Wispy, I'm going to do one more round. 2, 3. Here we go. Wispy, your last chance for no clarifying card. If you ever hear me say to Wispy that I'm doing one more round, it means 4 more of that. Because that's like that cycles the cards all the way through. Right then, so Wispy, Judy, what's Judy's main focus? Oh, we've had a card drop. Are we getting more? Yes, we are. Is that it? That's it. Right then, what is Judy's main focus? So Wispy, we're doing where you are, what you need to know, and the opportunity as an inverted triangle. Where you are, Judy. Oh, Empress, my favorite card. One day she will be a tattoo. I know I've been saying it forever, but hopefully this year, maybe for my birthday, I will get the Empress tattooed. Although I do have a crow to do before that. Oh no, the crow's due in maybe I'll get a crow first, and then the third crow will be in August. The crows are connected to the Cancer. Anyway, enough about that bollocks. Judgment in the what you need to know. And the 2 of Wands in the opportunity. What's linking the Empress to Judgment? How are we judging the Empress? What is going on with that? The 3 of Wands. Okay. And what about the Judgment and the 2 of Wands? Again, both with their backs to us. The Queen of Pentacles with her back to us, right? And in the root of it all, the Hanged Man. Interesting. So, Judy, you've got 3 major arcana cards, and the minors have their backs to us. So this is going to be an interesting reading. So then let's have a look. Hang on. Where's me buttons? Down here. Empress. So the Empress, as I've said earlier, this is the second time she's come up today. I think maybe the third. But the Empress is all about abundance, warm, loving energy, right? This is where you are. So it's like you've got there's an abundance of stuff going on, but there is also like she's about, I wouldn't say she's about work-life balance, but she's about nurturing and being supportive and being, the one that people come to, the caregiver. But also it's important for her to have that financial ability. Hang on, I didn't put the other light on. There you go. It's important for her to have that financial ability to be able to support the people around her. Okay, so there's a certain element of it's no wonder why you're feeling extra busy, because the Empress herself is that dichotomy of wanting to support and nurture and, give everything to the family energy with that growth and lovely warmth, but also needing to make sure that financially she can afford that, and financially she's got that element. So it's no surprise that that abundance and nurturing, that both, for me, it's the double whammy that the Empress gives. It's no surprise that there is a push me pull you kind of element with that. It doesn't necessarily say what you should focus on, but it's definitely where you are. What you need to know now, I don't think this is that you are being judged, okay? I think this is about you judging yourself, the Judgment card, because the standard way, as you can see, is the angel calling forth the souls of the deceased, which is what this card is showing you. This way round, it's got other elements to it. We've got death, we've got rebirth, we've got the child and the hawk and that in the sun. But this way round, it's that standard kind of, excuse me, being called to atone, being called to, you know, not just atone for your sins, but being called to balance that checkbook, if you like, that emotional, spiritual checkbook, and to basically say, you know, what it is that you've done with your life and what it is that you are continuing to do. But this judgment element, look, it's like these three people are naked all the way through, and it's talking about like stripping yourself bare of all of the bullshit, all of the baloney, taking all of that out of the equation, all of people's expectations, right? And just doing what is right for you. So there is nowhere that you can be not enough Empress, right? You can't, there's just no, it's impossible to be not Empress enough. If the Empress comes up, right, and this is where you are, you can't be not enough Empress, right? If you're giving it all to nurture, to support, to, you know, do all of those lovely things, then you can't give anymore, because you're literally giving everything that you've got. So this idea of being judged, this idea of judging yourself as maybe not doing enough, you've got to do more, you've got to do more, you've got to do more, is utter bullshit, because you're doing it all already, right? And the thing is, when it comes up as the opportunity card, we've got that Two of Wands. Now, this is really important, right? Because we've got a nighttime, we've got a glowing, full-on sun. I mean, you know, if I turn it around, you've got that midday sun type vibe. You've got that sun glowing here behind the angel. It's not angelic energy. It's also the sun in the sky. And here we've got the sun setting, right? So this is talking about that golden hour type moment. You know, sorry, I've got a hair that just keeps catching me. This is that golden hour moment. This way round, it's about, look, you need to control the power, the energy, you've got the energy, blah 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 blah. This way round, that becomes the setting sun, because we've actually got the setting sun here, right? So this glowing orb of energy, it's not about giving everything because you've got that energy coming in. It's about taking a little bit of a break, taking a little bit of time out for yourself, okay? And what I'm talking about with that is, if you've got a partner, if you've got a loved one, because the twos often represent that sort of that partnership, then take time out together, right? Learn, what is it they say, stop and smell the roses. This is literally that. Stop and smell the coffee, right? Stop and rejoice in a sunset, right? Sit out in your garden with your glowing ball of energy and charge it up in the setting sun or in the morning sun, whatever it is that is right for you, right? Because it feels like at the moment you're giving your all and judging yourself for not doing more, which is complete and utter bullshit. Now, let me link the connection. So between the Empress and this Judgment, we've got the Three of Wands, again with the full blazing sun. Again, in the desert, this is you giving all of your energy. This is you giving all of your, you know, working all the hours that you can, working all the daylight hours. But the Three of Wands is about bringing forward that next level. So you've got the two connection, you've got the partner, or you've got the business connection, or you've got the friendship, whatever it is. It's about then taking things to that next step, bringing it forward, constantly bringing in more people, bringing in more elements, bringing in, doing more, taking things to that next level. Wherever level you're at, you want to go to the next level, and then that becomes your standard, and then the next level. This way round, as you can see, it's seems a lot more pleasant. This way round, it's like you are working yourself to the point where you're stood alone in a desert on your own, trying to mix fire and water energies with these two balls. You're trying to control the elements whilst sat or stood in the gaze of a blazing sun, right? This is not a good situation to be in. This is literally burning you out. From the judgment card, this self-judgment, to the possible, like, slightly chilled more future, is the Queen of Pentacles with her back turned to the people. Now listen, you've heard me say it. I said it earlier on today's stream. The Queen of Pentacles is the nearest card that I connect with to the Empress, because they're both about that abundant energy. This is slightly less family, although it has that element because she's the queen. She's got that nurturing vibe, and she's all about nature, which the Empress is as well. But this is as close for me as the Empress card. These are very similar. They're almost even sat in a, you know, mirror opposite poses. There's a lot of connections between these two cards. Now, when this is flipped and it's coming up here between the judgment, it's saying that actually you might have to turn your back on this need to rescue everybody, like the Jesus complex. You don't have to help everybody out. You don't have to be the only one that is dealing with an entire community, an entire family, an entire, you know, every colleague coming to you for advice. You don't have to be the one to do that. It is okay to take time out for you, because this is what you need to be doing, giving you that time out. It is okay to turn the you know, to finish at the end of daytime hours. I work from 9 till 5. After 5, that's it, I'm done. And it's okay for you to do that within the wider context and say, do you know what? I can't be there for everyone. I can't pour from an empty jug. Sometimes my door is closed. Do you know what I mean? It will be open again tomorrow, but it's 3 a.m. Please let me fucking sleep. Do you know what I mean? And the root of everything, and this is fascinating, right? The root, as you can see here, the standard hangman, we're very, very similar to the standard hangman here. But the hangman is all about sacrifice, sacrificing yourself for the greater good, sacrificing yourself, waiting for knowledge, waiting for the future, waiting for things to be revealed. What I always taught the hangman represents is Odin hanging on the tree of life, the Yggdrasil, awaiting the knowledge of the runes. Now, that whether that's 9 days or 40 days, it varies, but that was what the card meant, and has always meant to me. It's about you sacrifice your own peace of mind, your own well-being, for that greater good, that greater knowledge to come, which again is almost like the downside of the Empress. She's so giving and so, you know, wants everybody to be supported that she forgets to support herself, and then beats herself up when she's running low on energy and is a bit poorly. But this is your root. Okay, so it's telling me again, if we take this one out of the equation, we go from where you are to where you're going, and we've got a much more positive pattern, because we've got this element of giving everything, bringing everybody in and working your bloody ass off, right, for everybody else, getting to the point where you are sacrificing your own self, your own well-being for the greater good. And how do we get that balance? By closing your door, by turning your back. It isn't stopping helping, it's just putting those boundaries, putting in those healthy checks and balances into place, right? And this is what this is saying about sometimes you need to turn that open sign around. There's very few places in the world that are open 24/7. And in fact, the only one I know in the UK is a biker cafe that has just been sold and is closing soon, and it's heartbreaking, the Redbeck Motel in Wakefield. But this is talking about that you need to sometimes close that door and then spend time either with yourself or with a loved one or a close friend, recharge that energy, recharge your glowing ball of energy in the setting sun, and take time and take peace, right? But this is how you do that, by recognizing that by sacrificing yourself constantly, you're just going to burn out. So that's what you need to do. And then this is that positive outcome. And I've just dropped a card on the floor because, you know, it's me. So yeah, hopefully, my darling, that helps. What should you be your main focus? You. You need to be your main focus, not every other bugger. You need to be your main focus. You need to be able to close that door, turn off the, you know, the open sign, and actually not be there for everybody at everybody's beck and call. Hopefully that helps, my darling. Thank you ever so much for your question. Let's have a look in the doodah. The doodah. Right, let me have a look. Let me have a look. Let me have a look. So, good evening, Angel Hearts. Thank you. They are wonderful mods. We are taking questions. I've got one more super chat coming up, and then I will get to a free round where you have your opportunity to put in for, with whoever else is here, to put in for a free reading. Oh, thank you. It totally resonates. Thank you, my darling. That's lovely. Powerful guidance. Thank you. We'll definitely set some healthy boundaries. You need to listen. The saying that you can only you cannot pour from an empty jug is true. If you give everything you've got to everybody around you, they will all take their little piece, right? They might only get 3% of your energy, 4% of your energy. But if you're doing that to 30, 40, 50 people, that's already more than 100% of your energy. What's left for you? You can't even recharge. You're using tomorrow's energy today. You're using next week's energy today because you keep giving it out in small chunks to people. Well, then there's none left. You've got to manage that expectation. You've got to manage. Trust me, like that Jesus complex thing is something that I suffer from a fuck lot, and it's probably one of the reasons why over the years my fibro has kicked in to the extent it has, because, you know, various of the mods will tell you there was a time not so many years ago where I was running all over the country, doing things for other people, helping and supporting other people, which I was passionate about doing, but I would burn out, and in the end I did burn out. And fortunately or unfortunately for me, it was at the time when COVID hit. So everybody was forced to stop and take a break. And I think that is probably what saved my life, because I had to stop and learn priorities. If I hadn't done that, I'd have carried on and just hit that brick wall at 100 miles an hour, and literally there wouldn't have been anything left. So take it from me, my darling, you do need boundaries. As Patricia says here, if you burn the candle at both ends, you'll run out of wick and then no one gets any light. Exactly. Then what happens? You just got a melted pool of dried up old wax that's no good to anyone until you get recycled into a new candle and you come back, and that's the story of rebirth. But anyway, thank you very much for your question. I hope that helps, my darling. And yeah, I will move on now with peace and love in my heart. Thank you. Bryn MRC, good evening, my darling. A love reading. I've been starting to date, but no one fun or interesting yet. It depends on what you define as fun or interesting, I guess. But yeah, I will go ahead and read for you, my darling. Here we go. And I am once again just going to hit the little magic button. I'm going to give you a 15-second gap just so I can take a slurp of my coffee, and then we will crack on with the reading. Okay? We have a super strong connection here. Right. Oh my God! Indeed. What will your card say, Bryn? Let's have a look and see if we can find any answers for you, my darling. Here we go. So then, Wispy, Bryn, MRC. I don't know if that's MRC or Mr. C. Don't know. But anyway, Bryn would like to know, Bryn would like a love reading, please. So Scarlett, if you're around as well, with a little bit of passion, Bryn would like a love reading. They've been starting to date recently, but no one fun or interesting yet. So is there someone fun and interesting coming into the picture for Bryn? That's what we want to know. That's what we want to know. That's what we want to know. I know, right? I'm making up songs today. Today's been a day of making up songs. I don't know why. I was singing a little song earlier about nothing to Rufus, and he was very impressed with it. Very, very impressed. I can tell he was impressed because he rolled his eyes in multiple ways. And yeah. So there we go. Bryn, I love reading for Bryn Wispy. I love reading what is coming up in the future for that there lovely Bryn. Shall we do a classic past, present? No, I don't really want to do a past, present, future. I know what we can do, what you have, what you want, and how to get it. Maybe that might be a good one. Opportunity challenge doesn't fit. No, I'll tell you what, Wispy. This is what we'll do. Bryn's path and the potential coming up, right, in terms of love. So we keep the red lights on. Keep the red light on. So here we go. Bryn's path and the potential through the lens of the romance. Here we go. Cut the deck. Come on. You're full. Oh, are we going again? Nope. Right then. Bryn's path and the potential. So, what? Empress, I love you to bits, but you're coming up on almost every reading now. Everyone's going to think I'm somehow like a stage magician fixing the cards. I'm honestly not. But thank you, Empress. That is lovely. What can we do? There we go. I'll play that again. Thank you, Empress. Right. So that's where Bryn is. Bryn's path. Oh, Ace of Pentacles. A new start needed. And Bryn's romantic potential. Oh, Wheel of Fortune energy. What is linking the Empress and the Ace of Pentacles? Oh, another ace, the Ace of Swords. So some stumbling blocks and hurdles coming up. Oh, wow. Okay. Ace of Pentacles to the Wheel. We've got the Fool, and the root of everything we have the Six of Cups. Isn't that interesting? Right. Okay. Why do I think that's interesting? I'll get to it. So first of all, let me come off of the live stream. There we go. So then, Bryn, we have, let me click on the animations. Here we go. So we've got the Empress. I've played this like 3 or 4 times tonight because that's how many times the Empress is showing up for me. We've got you in the Empress role, okay? But we've got you with your back turned. So this is talking about having that nurturing, loving, emotional abundance that we've been talking about all day. That family feeling, that connection on a really wonderful, positive way, okay? Now, this doesn't mean in any way, it's not necessarily talking about femininity. And some people always say that the Empress is about childbirth and children. No, she's not. The Empress is not about that. It's about abundance and nurturing. Anybody can be a good nurturer. Anybody can be a supportive person, a loving person. It doesn't mean that, you know, just because you identify one way or a different way that you are able to embrace Empress energy. Everybody can embrace that Empress energy, okay? It's about loving. It's about being open. It's about being abundant with your love, with your money. And it's about, you know, just being there for people. But this is reversed, or this has got the other side of the card. So I think this is something that, oh, excuse me. I do apologize if you heard me burp then. My coffee just repeated on me. The other side of the card, you've still got that nurturing energy here. You've still got that abundant wheat field. You've got the roses here, which represent love, or the poppies that I think they're roses that represent love. You've got the plants. You've got a bird sat there. So that side. Oh yeah, you've got a bird sat there on the shield. You've got a bird of prey and this lovely tree on this lovely warm day, right? So you've got all of this lovely nature going on. There is, however, a skull. Now, this way round, the Empress is talking about maybe you've been hurt in the past. Maybe there is this element of not wanting to give as openly, not wanting to be as abundant with your feelings, your emotions, even your financial support. You're not wanting to be there in quite that same way with everybody. It's almost like you've learned to be a little bit picky because we've got the skull in the water. The water is emotions. The skull is talking about the end, you know, something is ended. So we're talking about there being in the past an emotional ending that has maybe made you a little bit more guarded about your love life, put it that way. And we go from the empress, sorry, in what represents you, to your path, and we've got the Ace of Pentacles. Now this is really lovely, okay, because aces are about new starts, new beginnings, new projects. Pentacles, yes, it can mean work, career, finances, but in a love reading it talks about growth. And look, we've got this flower garden, this sort of ornate garden, this ornate country element, almost looks like a country house garden, right? So this is talking about starting a new project, starting a new mindset, and looking at that long-term planning, that long-term growth. What seeds do you need to set? What seeds do you need to sow now that you can reap in months and weeks and years to come? What is it about your life that you want to change? How do you go about doing that? Okay, because it's talking about this path that you're on. I think you need to almost start opening back up. Does that make sense? Because this is talking about, like, it's a good time that this has come up actually, Bryn, because it's spring. Spring is just starting to creep in here in the UK. We've got those first signs. The daffodils are starting to open, are starting to pop up. The snowdrops have been up for a while. The sun feels a little bit more yellow and warm. Things are starting to open up, and this is kind of what you need to be doing, okay? Starting to open up and allow that warm sort of springtime energy to start filtering in and to start melting a little bit of that heart, okay? It's not saying to completely turn around, wear your heart on your sleeve yet, but it is talking about starting to open that up for your path. And then the potential, if you do that, is you've got the Wheel of Fortune. Now, the Wheel of Fortune, or the wheel in this case, is a really positive card in terms of planning for the future, because it's literally saying, look, whatever you want can come to be, right? So it also, however, talks about maybe you're going to spin that wheel, and you might have to spin that wheel several times to hit the one that you want. In terms of a relationship, it's good, right? Yes, be a little bit guarded, but spin that wheel. Go on loads of dates. Go on some really boring, crappy dates. Go on really, extravagant dates. Go on a date that's a romantic trip to the park. But play that wheel. Play the game a little bit, right? And I don't mean manipulate people or do anything like that. But date for a while. See what is out there. Spin that roulette wheel and see how many times it takes. It's not even a roulette wheel. It's a Wheel of Fortune wheel. You know, where you've got like, hang on, how can I put it? You know, where you've got like different wedges, and one wedge will say, I don't know, fish and chip supper. The next one will say gourmet steak meal. The next one will say, vegan burger from Burger King. The next one, so you've got all the different choices on it, and you spin it, and wherever you land, that's what you're going to have for tea. It's almost that vibe that this card is giving, right? So it's giving that vibe of just bloody get out there and do it. Just see what's out there. It may be that actually you've always said to yourself, I don't know, you don't want to date an older woman, and you might end up dating someone that's 10, 20 years older than you, and you're a perfect connection, but you're not going to know unless you do it. You might say to someone, say to yourself, oh, I'm never going to date a lawyer. And then you go on a date with a lawyer, and it's the most perfect match. It's talking about take those preconceived ideas off the table, be open and spin that wheel, have those really interesting experiences. Be mindful, because the wheel, or the Wheel of Fortune, can sometimes bring risk as well as reward. But even if in the dating world, even if it turns out to be a crappy date, it's an experience. It's something to talk to your friends about and have a laugh over a beer or a coffee. Do you know what I mean? And it's about experiencing lots of different aspects of life and allowing yourself to kind of go with that flow, which is why this wheel is so bloody wonderful, because it is literally talking about, okay, maybe you'll join a dating website. Maybe you'll be on a dating app. Maybe you're super high powered in whatever position you have, and you'll join one of those dating sites for millionaires, or you'll join a dating site with, people looking for sugar daddies. It could be anything. just experience all of that and see what there is out there, because this is in the potential, and it's a bloody good card for the potential, I'm telling you, right? In terms of what is linking the Empress with her back to us and the Ace of Pentacles, we've got the Ace of Swords. So I think there's an element here about maybe you started to date a little bit, you've started dipping your toe in that and it didn't go right, and that's made you want to close that all down. Maybe it's like it didn't go the way you thought it would. You went out for dinner, it turned out to be really boring, there was no conversation, you know, you had to pay for the taxi home and blah 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 blah, right? It feels like this Ace of Swords, this isn't your doing. It feels like this is almost like you're putting yourself back into the dating game after a while. I don't know whether that's hitting. I don't know why I'm saying that, but it could be that you were in a relationship for a while and now, boom, you know, you're starting over. But it really does feel like whatever this, it feels like a false start. Do you know what I mean? It's like on a race where before your firing gun is fired, it's like, oh no, someone went too early. Feels a little bit like that maybe not everything was quite what you thought it was going to be. We link the Ace of Pentacles, so this new beginning and this new venture, we link it with the Fool, which is bloody wonderful, right? The Fool is the 0 card on the deck. The Fool is talking about starting over, starting out afresh. The Fool is bloody amazing for this, because it's literally, this is talking about starting over in growth, leading to new experiences. The Fool is the beginning of the entire deck. The major arcana is often called the Fool's journey, because the cards represent the journey that the Fool goes on. This is talking about, look, you've got your back to us, but you're already taking that journey, but you can see the cliff edge. This way round, you're too busy looking out over the sunset. This way round, you're aware of that cliff edge. You've stopped. The dog is stopping you. You can see the falling star. The petals are falling off the rose. So a little bit, you know, there is the saying about whatever the petals are off the blush of the rose, whatever that means. But it's basically talking about, look, this is not entirely your first go around, right? But the Fool is still talking about things, coming at things with a completely fresh start, completely new energy. The Fool is bloody lovely here, because it's linking this new start, that this is your path, starting over, you know, planning for this future, but doing so in a way that you will learn and you will gain new experiences, right? So maybe say to someone, do you know what? I've never done a bungee jump. Let's go for dinner at a you know, I don't know, a local fair. The fair's come to town. Let's go on a date. We'll go to the fair. They do a bungee jumping thing there. Let's go and do it. Why not? Oh, are you scared? I'm scared too. I've never done it. Let's go. And it might be the most wonderful thing. It might be the most scariest thing, but you'll learn. And maybe the person you're going on a date with says, no, I can't do that, I'm too scared. In which case, you know that they're not up for what weird and wonderful. Or they might say, yay, let's do it. I've never done this. This is so exciting. Let's go. Take those risks, take those chances, learn those experiences, right? Get out there. And if it's, listen, I was about to point to the screen then, like here, right? No one fun or interesting yet. Expand that circle, expand it. You know, date a guy, date a girl, date a non-binary person, date someone that's trans, date someone that's a punk, date someone that's agender, date a vegan, date a meat eater, date someone that's, you know, the opposite bloody political party than you. Do all of it. Why not? Put that in there yourself. Go in it, have those experiences, because the base of this, the root of this, is the 6 of Cups. And this is telling me that you are somebody who has a very, very strong, very deep connection and deep want and need for a relationship that isn't just with, you know, that one other person. It's that relationship that you can show the world. It's that relationship that you can, you know, shout about and scream about and make, you know, have those public displays of affection and have that, you know, this is our wood anniversary and today is our iron anniversary, or whatever the hell it is, right? And to have all of those experiences, because the 6 is talking about community and family and all of that. You've got the guy here and the girl here where they're literally meeting for the first time. When we turn the card over, right, you can see time has passed. The girl's father is out looking for her. She's off having a whale of a time. This is talking about that connection is really important, but not just like a two of cups, not just like a romantic connection between the two of you. This is talking about bringing in everybody in your circle and having that wonderful relationship. Thank you, Ed. And so when we take this one out of the equation and we do a quick what was to where we're headed, we've got a slightly closed version, slightly more emotionally maybe stunted a little bit. Not emotionally stunted, that's emotionally reserved. That's the word I'm looking for. Because of experiences in the past that were quite hurtful. Going to this, you still got this need for this like loving, this loving emotional side of you to come through. Going on this new journey with the Fool. Go and experience things as if it's the first time you've ever dated. Treat every date as if it's the first date you've ever gone on. Feel those jitters, feel the nerves, do those wonderful things, leading to this Wheel of Fortune. Now, there is nothing here saying we've got the Lovers. There is nothing here saying that, you know, coming up next month is going to be hearts and flowers and weddings. But this is talking about experiencing the dating world and having fun while you're doing it. And one of the turns that you spin here may well be that one, that soul connection, that twin flame and all of that. This may well be that, okay? But you're not going to find out unless you spin that wheel and take those chances. And I hope, Bryn, my darling, I hope that helps. It really feels like this, bringing this in again, this spring is the time for you to get this moving. Your path is to get this happening, and this is a bloody good time to do it because the sap is rising, my friend. The sap is rising. But anyway, I hope that helps. Thanks ever so much for your question. And yeah, I really do hope that helps. Let me come back into the live doodahs. The live comments. Here we go. Let me have a look. You're sort of open to whomever might come in at the moment. Yes, you're a hetero woman, by the way. That's where you are now. Doesn't mean you have to be. Doesn't mean you have to be. Try dating a woman. Just go on a first date with a woman. You might find you like it or don't. Either way, you're on an app. You're on lots of apps. Just be careful as a woman on apps, right? Just be careful because we know dodgy people out there. Or a biker. Yes, date a biker. Absolutely date a biker. Ready to start again. Yes. Go and enjoy it, Bryn. Go and enjoy it, right? Absolutely, my darling. Enjoy yourself. That is what I would say above everything else. Accept everyone as temporary and enjoy the time you have with them. Expect nothing, just enjoy it. Exactly. Enjoy it. Listen, we're all temporary on this planet. We all are, right? Eventually, all of us are going to snuff it. So enjoy the time you've got here and enjoy the relationships you build and experience along the way. So saith, endeth the lesson for today. Thank you very much. Right then, I've probably got time for one quick reading. So if anybody wants a free tarot reading, what you've got to do now is put your name, put your question into the chat, starting with the word question. That is super, super, super important, right? Start with the word question, send it in. Please don't send it as a super chat because super chat readings are longer. Just put it into the live chat if you are wanting to spin that wheel, as we were just talking about, and take your chances. What I will do is I will then pick one of those questions at random and I will do somebody a free 3-card reading. So yes, go ahead and do that right now. I will hit this button. After this, if nobody sends a question, then we will end with a self-care oracle card and we will end for tonight. But here we go. This tells you what you need to do if you didn't understand what I just said. Okay, right then, let's have a look. It looks like I've got 3 questions in. So we're going to do what I normally do, which I'm going to stare at you and I'm going to move the mouse up and down on the jog wheel. Almost forgot what it was called then. And I'm going to pick one of them at random. Okay, invariably I get a mods message with this, or Nightbot or something like that. But let's have a look. We're going with this one. Oh, Tanvi Gupta. Good evening, Tanvi. I don't think I've seen you on the stream before, so good evening to you. Hang on, I'm not on the thing. Where's this thing gone? Here we go. Star it. Go into the other screen. Tanvi Gupta. No. Oh, come on. Thank you, Tanvi Gupta. Question. You're stuck in career and love. Okay, right then. So we'll do you again. It's only going to be a 5-minute reading because we literally finish in 5 minutes, my darling. But I will do my best for you. Wispy, let's first of all cleanse the space. Here we go. Sorry to the others that didn't get a reading today. Make sure you join us on Tuesday evening, 7 p.m. UK time, where I'll be doing more readings and more freebie readings as well. So come and join us then. Tanvi Gupta, let me have a look. Good evening. Wispy, Tanvi would like to know they're currently stuck in career and love. So with where you are, what you need to know and what the opportunity is, how can Tanvi get unstuck? Okay, how can they unstick themselves in career and or love? What is going to be the way that they unstick themselves? Okay, let's have a look. So we didn't get a clarifying card, but Wispy knows best. Oh, another one. Is there a third drop? It is. Yeah, there we go. I knew I could feel the third drop happening. Right then. So here we go. Where you are right now. Oh, Knight of Swords, what you need to know and what the opportunity is. So what you need to know, the Queen of Swords, and the opportunity is the Nine of Cups reversed. Interesting. Right, so where you are, we've got the Knight of Swords. Now, this feels like you are... I don't know whether stuck is the right way. It's almost like you're your own worst enemy with this, okay? Because the Knight of Swords, knights are all about that rebellious energy, that sort of energy of, I don't want to do it that way. I'm going to find my own way of doing things. And it's also talking about kind of rushing in without necessarily thinking or without necessarily, how can I say, without necessarily... thinking about the actions, right? So it's almost like you're trying this and trying that, but nothing's working because you haven't thought about, this step follows that step follows this step. You haven't put planning into place. Now, that's something that you can overcome. The Knight of Swords you can completely overcome because it's about then putting in some plans, putting in some longer term thoughts. Now, the thing I would say with that, what you need to know at the moment, it feels like, I think you are your own worst enemy. I think you are stopping yourself. Now, listen, this channel is all about giving you the guidance you need, right? It's not necessarily going to be the answers that you're looking for, but it is going to be the answer you need, right? So the Queen of Swords coming up in your what you need to know. I think you are blocking yourself. You are stopping yourself from doing things, from experiencing love, from advancing in your career or things like that, because maybe you're not taking those maybe you're taking the risks but not planning, right? So for example, if you're currently working in, I don't know, say that you're working for a department store, right? And you actually want to be a nurse, right? Just saying that you want to be a nurse isn't going to get you a job as a nurse. You have to go and get some training, do some college work, get some qualifications. You can do all that whilst you're working at the department store, but you need to start doing that. You know what I mean? No one's going to give you a job if you want to change careers or get a promotion or get a bonus. No one's going to do that unless you start putting that work in. Okay. Now the Queen of Swords is talking about making your own stumbling blocks, your own hurdles. Okay, so how do you solve that? Well, you have to make your own luck. You have to decide that you want to have a love life, you want to date, in which case you need to start being on dating sites or going out and speaking to people. You need to be able to do those things, right? As uncomfortable as they may be, the only way you're going to date people is to meet people. And sometimes you know, I mean, not sometimes, but people aren't going to knock on the door and say, hey, Town V, do you fancy going on a date tonight? Nope. Okay, bye then. That's not going to happen. You've got to kind of put yourself out there. I don't mean, you know, be open in terms of, you know, I'm not talking about being easy, put it that way. But you need to be open to meeting people, because it may well be that somebody, you know, on the train on the way to work, you know, catches your eye, and you've seen them, you know, maybe 3 or 4 times over the last month, so you're on the same train. Then why not just say, oh, I'm on the same train as you, you know, do you fancy getting the early train tomorrow, maybe going for coffee? Maybe that. And it's talking about, again, putting those things in place to allow those experiences to happen. Nothing is going to come to you. Nobody's going to come and say, hey, Tanvi, I know you're currently working in a department store, but I think you'd be a really good nurse. Do you want to come and, like, you know, work in the hospital? That's not going to happen. You have to put that work in, put those plans in to make that happen. Now, the opportunity we've got is the 9 of Cups. Now, for me, as I always say, 9s are when something is full, and the 10 is when it's overflowing. Now, although this is reversed, we do have the Horn of Plenty, this cornucopia coming in, and the 9 Cups. Now, they do look a bit old and bedraggled, but the cornucopia is saying that there is an abundance of loving energy out there for you. Okay, it is out there. The 9 is saying that, I think if we were talking between career and love, you want love more than you want you know, to get a promotion. So in terms of that, you need to really focus on, if you want to find yourself a partner, how do you go about it? Ask your friends if they know single people that might want to go on a date. Join a dating app. Join, you know, a local, I don't know, a local sports team. Maybe not a sports team. Join a local, I don't know, a local chess club, a local college doing night classes. You know, get yourself out there and meet people. Then once you've met, if you meet 100 people, 100 new people, it may be 10 of them that you fancy. Of those 10, maybe you'll connect with one of them. Maybe you won't connect with any of them, but at least you can put yourself out there and say, I've met 100 new people, 10 of them I think are really cool or could be friends, and maybe one of them I'd like to date, and I'm dating. That's how you do it. You have to put yourself out there, right? I think the fear here, the potential is to do it. The fear is what's going to keep you back, my darling. It really feels that you need to push yourself out of that comfort zone to actually go and experience those things. Okay, because I think that this Queen of Swords, I think this blocking is coming from yourself. And I honestly think that, yeah, I think you just need to have a bit of confidence in yourself, find ways to meet new people, you know, join a local church, join a local singing choir, join, you know, a pottery course, whatever it is. Go and do those things and learn to meet new people and learn some new skills, and that might pay off in both career and love. And there you are, my darling. I hope that helps. It was a quick reading. I've gone 3 minutes over. Sorry, mods. Sorry. I know I should learn to say no when I get to 5 minutes too. But anyway, thank you ever so much, everybody, for joining us here on the channel. Thank you to everybody that donated. Thank you to everybody who asked a question. If you didn't get your question answered tonight, we are back on Tuesday evening at 7 p.m. UK time. Thank you ever so much for those of you that are new to the channel and joined us today. Thank you. Don't forget, give the channel a like, give this video a like on your way out. Hit that thumbs up button. If you haven't done already and you're just watching this without subscribing, hit that subscribe button and ding your bell so that YouTube notifies you whenever we go live or upload a video. There should be these videos coming up very soon this week. I'm not going to say exactly when, but there will be videos coming up later this week for you all with card of the day readings. I've just got to edit some. So those will be coming up for you later this week. And also, I will be back very soon with a podcast. Me and Neil will be planning to film and record the podcast very soon. So hopefully that'll be something to look forward to on the channel as well. But that is it from me, from Leeds in the UK, from all of our moderators, from myself, from Wispy, from everybody here. Thank you so much for joining us. I will see you next time. Don't forget, Tuesday, 7 p.m. UK time.